welcome to Clash of the Dice. I'm James.
I'm Joshua.
Yeah, he's here!
I'm here!
Look at that! Yeah, it's the same person.
It is the same person.
He's taller than me now, look at that hair. He's twice as tall as me and he's got twice as much hair. But yes, he's actually joined me because I'm trying to learn Age of Sigmar 3rd edition. And apologies if you can hear saws and concrete cutters and things like that going off in the background. One of the houses down the road is having some work done. And yeah, it's another reason why I haven't been doing too many bat reps recently is because all of the ambient noise that I get recently. But we're doing Age of Sigmar 3rd edition. We're doing 1,000 points. I've got my Beast Claw Raiders, my Ogres, and unfortunately this is not entirely WYSIWYG. So this is a Stonehorn Frostlord model with a big spear, but I'm using him counts as a Hoos card with a harpoon launcher. So that big muscly arm holding the big long spear is going to be lobbing harpoons instead. Otherwise it's over 1,000 points. I've got a unit of Monfang Riders here with their culling clubs, and another unit over here with Gargant Hackers. So yeah, I've got 3 units for my 1,000 points. On Joshua's side, he is using his traditional Blades of Khorne, and he has got an Exalted Deathbringer.
Yeah, Exalted Deathbringer using the spear, not the shield and axe and the other one. It's the spear.
Yep.
The impaling spear. He is going to be my general, and he has got an artifact and a trait. The trait is Disciples of Khorne, which gives him +2 attacks, and the artifact is the Gore Cleaver, I believe. Yeah, Gore Cleaver, and that gives him +1 rend, or an extra rend, and on a wound roll of a 6, he does double the damage.
Yep.
With him are 2 Korgoraths,
yep.
And then in the centre of the field we have a unit of 20 Blood Reavers with the Skull Altar behind them. We then have next to them a unit of Skull Reapers and a Blood Secretor, and then next to them we have another unit of 20 Blood Reavers.
Yep. And that's about 950 points of Blades of Khorne. I should have said this guy, he's my general, obviously, and his Warlord trait, command trait, sorry, this is Age of Sigmar, not 40k, is Skilled Rider. So because he's a big monster, he's got a deteriorating profile, and essentially you double how many wounds he's got left for the purposes of working out what his stat line is. His mount trait is the Black Clatterhoof. He gets +1 for attack for those big horns on the front, and his relic is a once per game thing where I think you can reroll hits, wounds and save rolls. But yeah, that is 1,000 points. We're using open war, and we've got 3 objectives. So there's 1 in my deployment zone, so we've gone nice and simple, old school 40k Dawn of War style, because it's nice and simple. We've got an objective in the centre, and we've got another objective over in the other deployment zone. And yeah, the victory conditions are, if you hold all 3 objectives at the end of the game, you get a major victory. If you have 2, you get a minor victory, and any other result is a draw. So all Joshua's got to do is kill 1 of my units, and then it's impossible for me to get a major victory. And this is the first time we're using this Skull Altar.
Skull Altar, yeah.
So it could be interesting. It used to upset Joshua when I used to kill all his characters and then he couldn't summon in demons.
Yep.
But as he now has a terrain feature, he can summon in demons using that. However, in 3rd edition, monsters can destroy terrain features. But there's a big blob of Blood Reavers in front of it.
Can you walk through Blood Reavers is the question.
Yeah. I should also add, I've got no idea how well you can hear Joshua, because this is the first time we've filmed a bat rep where there's only me using my lav mic. I've only got 1 lav mic and can only connect 1 at a time to the phone/camera. This is going to be a bit odd. It's going to be a bit hit and miss, because essentially the aim of this video is me learning Age of Sigmar 3rd edition. So I thought I'd film it, and then yeah, I'll try and just include the interesting bits. There might not be too many dice rolls, but that said, let's roll off for priority for the first turn. And I need a d6 for that. See, that's already not as professional as I would like it to be. Right. So I get a 3.
I got a 1.
You get a 1. So I get to choose. And in 2nd edition, you used to get a command point in your hero phase. In 3rd edition, it's different. So whoever decides to go first gets 1 command point, and the other person then gets 2 command points before any hero phases. And then in the hero phase, not your own hero phase, but the hero phase, if your general is still on the battlefield and not been slain, you get an extra command point. And I think I want to go 2nd. So Joshua can have the first turn, so he will get a command point, I will get 2 command points, and then in his hero phase we'll both get another command point. Right, let's see what happens after the hero phase. Okay, we are actually at the end of Joshua's first turn. His what's it called? Heroic action. He chose to go for, what's it called? Heroic leadership.
Yes. So,
which is an opportunity to try and get an extra command point on a 4-up, and he did indeed roll a 4, so he got an extra command point. With this being a learning game, then there will undoubtedly be mistakes, and this was the first. We forgot that actually both players get to do a heroic action during the hero phase. The way we were playing it until turn 3 was Joshua gets to do a heroic action in his hero phase and I get to do one in mine, and actually we should both be doing heroic actions in every hero phase. And then everything else ran forwards in a surge of brass and flesh.
And red, don't forget the red.
Yeah, that. But yeah, nothing's in charge range and everything ran anyway, but yeah, that was kind of what I wanted. Come to me.
This is kind of what I wanted too.
To get gobbled up.
I think this has been a very productive turn for me.
Right, so going on to my turn. So for my heroic action, I tried to get another command point, but I failed. I rolled a 2. But movement phase, we're at the end of the movement phase. This unit of Mournfangs has moved up, and because we are ogres and we're more than 3 inches away from the enemy, we get +2 to our move. So we moved a full 11 inches. That puts us just outside of 3 inches away from those Blood Reavers. Same over here. These guys were hungry, so they've moved 11 inches heading towards the Korgoraths. And the Frost Lord, sorry, Huskard, has stayed where he is for now. So when we've got some shooting to do. I forgot about the shooting. I was about to say going into the charge phase, but we're not. We've got shooting because these two guys both have pistols, and this guy's got a harpoon launcher, aka a big spear that he's going to lob with his strong arm. So this guy lobbed a harpoon. It hit but didn't wound. This guy fired a shot and missed, and this guy fired a shot at Korgorath, hit but didn't wound.
Your puny bullets cannot harm Khorne.
Yeah, like whatever. Right, charge phase. Right, so going to charge this unit of Mournfangs, and charging works exactly the same as it did in 2nd edition. So you roll the dice and then you choose the target, but they've only really got one target. 8. That's good. I'll take that. And the way that this works is, because they are ogres, you roll a d6 for each inch of charge. So I roll 8 d6s, and because these are standard ogres and there's not more than 8 of them, they inflict a mortal wound for each roll of a 6.
Oh dear.
And there's no 6s.
Whew.
Over here, this unit of Mournfangs is going to charge. They get 7. I'll take that. And they're going to charge this Korgorath.
The red one.
And so we roll 7 dice, and 6s will be a mortal wound, which is nice on Korgoraths because Korgoraths are nasty. None. So no mortal wounds from any of the charges. So the charge phase is done, and we're going to start the fighting over here with this Mournfang pack going into those Blood Reavers. I'm going to start things off with the Tusks. I've spent a command point on all-out attack, which will give me +1 to hit rolls, and Joshua spent a command point on all-out defense to give him +1 to wound save rolls. So starting off with the Tusks, they get 4 attacks each, and there's 4 of them, so this will hit on 4s ordinarily, but now hitting on 3s. That's pretty good. Only 2 fails. And this will wound on 3s. So 1, 2, 3 misses. So 5, 10, 11 saves at -1. So that cancels out your +1.
That does cancel out my +1 indeed. 11 saves, 6 up. That is 1, 2 made.
2. And these are ordinarily 1 damage each, but because they charge, they're 2 damage each.
So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18.
18 dead.
18 are dead. There were literally
So there's 2 left.
There's 2 left.
And we've still got 12 attacks to come from the culling clubs. 12 attacks from the culling clubs and prey hackers, hitting on 2s. Everything hit. Wounding on 3s. And so that will be another, that was not a 3. 5, 8 more saves, no AP. Sorry, 8 saves at no rend. AP is 40k. And apologies for the Alexa announcement going off in the background there.
8 saves, 5 ups. That is 3 to the dead.
Yeah, that's the entire army, that's the entire unit wiped. That is significantly more impressive than I thought it would be, if I'm perfectly honest. So yeah, that was quite impressive. There is no consolidation that I can see in Age of Sigmar 3rd edition. I'm pretty sure there wasn't in 2nd edition. But yeah, in 40k there is consolidation after a fight, but not in Age of Sigmar. Okie doke. So now it's Joshua's turn to pick a unit to attack with, and he's going for this Korgorath, and I charged in very carefully, making sure that I couldn't draw in that the other Korgorath or the Exalted Deathbringer. So yeah, that's why the unit looks a bit wonky, but yeah, I wanted to make sure I'm out of 3 inches of the other 2 units. So not all of my guys are going to get to fight, but Joshua gets to go first.
So, I have spent a command point on all-out attacks, meaning I get an additional +1 to hit.
Yeah, and I've gone for all-out defence, so it cancels out your 1 point of rend.
Yes, it does cancel out my one point of rend.
Yeah.
So this is 5 attacks, hitting on 2s.
Ooh, 2 misses.
2 misses, it's not great.
And wounding on
3s.
3s.
That is 3 wounds.
Everything wounded. So this is just going to be standard 4 ups, because my +1 cancels out your rend. And I fail 1.
2 damage a pop.
2 damage a pop. These guys have got 6 wounds each, so one of them is down to 4 wounds left. So put it on this guy, because he's the non-special guy. This guy's a banner bearer, this guy's a musician, and that's the sergeant, so he can take the wounds first. Joshua's just been whinging, saying that ogres are too tough. And then we had a look, and actually Korgoraths have got more wounds, so technically they're tougher.
Yeah, but they're not good at, they're not as good at dishing out damage.
What's the armour save on a Korgorath?
4.
4. Oh, so the same as me. Right, so now I get to fight back. Now, apologies, because the fight you're about to see, I later realised I inadvertently cheated. We pick it up a little bit further down the line in the game, but yeah, as I mentioned, I charged in kind of wonky, so not everybody should have been able to fight with all of their weapons. Whoops. And we'll start with the Tusks again.
Spending a command point on all-out defense.
You can't, because you've used that this phase.
I could have used that on them, and then they died.
Yeah.
Alright.
So I can't use out all-out attack again either. So this will be 16 attacks hitting on 4s for the Tusks. And there's quite a few not 4s.
There's a lot of 3s there.
There's lots and lots of 3s. Yeah, I should have saved it for this. That's only 6 hits. And wounding on 3s. So that's 4 wounds at -1.
5 up saves. I make 2.
And these, again, we charged in, so those are 2 damage each.
Okay.
So that's 4 damage through.
Yeah, 4 wounds left.
And then we've got 8 attacks from Gargant Hackers, 2 attacks each. This will hit on 4s. Definitely should have saved all-out attack for these guys, so they'd be hitting on 3s with these Gargant Hackers. Right, that's a little bit better. So, 5 hit, 3s to wound. Yeah, 3s to wound. 3 wounds at -1.
5 ups. That's 1.
And these are 3 damage each.
Dead.
So 1 dead Korgorath. So with the attacks that did make it through, there's still a pretty good chance that the attacks that should have been cancelled out, it probably still would have resulted in a dead Korgorath. Right.
It's another blood type point.
It is. That's the plus side. At least you've now got 2 blood type points.
I can summon in 5 blood letters.
That's the end of the first turn, and I think it's safe to say that went better for the Ogres than it did for the Disciples of Khorne. So yeah. Right, so we're going into turn 2. Joshua has got 2 blood tithe points, look on his altar. So we're going to roll off for the start of turn 2. I got 1, it's looking good for Khorne.
5.
Are you going to go first?
I am going to go first.
I don't blame you. Okay, it's the end of the movement phase, and the Korgorath and the Exalted Deathbringer have shuffled forward ever so slightly, so just outside of engagement range, ready to charge in. The Blood Reavers have consolidated kind of onto both of those objectives, and we can't see anything in the rules that says a single unit cannot control more than one objective. In 40k, a single model cannot control more than one objective, but a unit can. And as I say, I can't see anything in the rules for 3rd edition Age of Sigmar that says you can't do that. So currently, those Blood Reavers are holding to objectives. And then the Skull Reapers.
Yeah, those are Skull Reapers.
They've moved forwards, getting ready to charge the Mournfangs. And Joshua he debated for a while about spending his blood tithe points and bringing in either a Demon Herald of Khorne or some blood letters. And he then discovered that I have some flesh hounds. And he needs 1 more blood tithe point to summon in some flesh hounds, so he's saving them for now. So that is the end of the movement phase, and we're going into the shooting phase. Right, we should have said that the heroic action that Joshua did was he's put their finest hour on his Exalted Deathbringer. But going into the shooting phase, Joshua is not using all-out attack because he wants to save some command points for the fight phase. But in the shooting phase, Korgoraths can shoot.
Yes, so Bone Tentacles get 6-inch range and 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. And that's 2 hits. They wound on 4s. Oh, and Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes. So no wounds.
No wounds.
At the end of the charge phase, and because they're all really short charges, all of them were made. And it wasn't until he started doing the charges that I realised I could have done redeploy as an option. So it's another command ability, one of the new ones. When you're within, I think it's 9 inches of at the end of a movement, I can move d6 inches away. I forgot about it, but having remembered it, I don't think I would have wanted to do it anyway. So yeah, the Korgorath and the Exalted Deathbringer made their charges into those Mournfangs, and the Skull Reapers made their charge into these Mournfangs. So, where are you wanting to start with the fighting?
Over there.
Over there, specifically
There, Deathbringer.
the Deathbringer. I thought you might. Right, so Joshua is starting off with his Exalted Deathbringer, and he's gone all-out attack, so I've gone all-out defense, because my champion, the unit champions, can issue commands as well for command abilities. So yeah, this is somewhat scary. So you now get 7 attacks because of your
Gore Cleaver.
Warlord trait,
No,
or because of
Warlord
the
trait. Yeah, Disciple of Khorne gives an extra 2 attacks to weapon attacks.
Yep, and you're now hitting on 2s.
Hitting on 2s because of all-out attack.
Yeah, and there's anything special on hit rolls?
Not that I can think of, no.
The 6s.
It's only natural 6s for wounds where things become interesting.
You sure? I thought you mentioned just now something on natural 6s to hit.
No, it's natural 6s to wound for the Exalted Deathbringer. So, hitting on 2s. That is all bar 1.
6 hits.
So 6 hits.
And you're looking for 6s to wound, and
2 6s for the special thing, but wounding on 2s.
Yeah.
Because of finest hour.
Yeah.
So that is 2 6s.
Yep.
So for those 6s, damage is doubled. So
Yep.
that those are each 2 damage. And because of Impaling Spear, it does D3 mortal wounds per 6.
Is that in addition?
That is in addition to regular damage.
Okay. This is something I need to check. I know in 40k you apply the mortal wounds after all of the damage has been dealt. So probably need to check that. But get rid of that 1, because that 1 is not a wound.
But the rest are wounds.
And remember those 2 6s.
So, yep.
Right, let's check some rules. So, yeah, on page 262 of the rulebook, it says that the mortal wounds are applied after all of the attacks have been made. Okay. So, I've got 3 regular saves to make.
3 regular saves, 2 lethal saves.
So, the regular saves are -2?
Yeah, -2.
So this will
the relic as well.
Yeah, so ordinarily 4 ups, up to 6 ups because of your 2 Ren, but back to 5s because of all-out defense. So 3 5 ups. I make 1.
So that's 2 damage.
2 damage.
2 damage altogether, 1 damage a pop.
Okay, so that's 2 damage so far.
And then for the 6s,
yep,
you need to make 2 saves for them. Again, -2 Ren.
Okay, so they're 5s as well.
Yep.
Nope.
And that's 2 damage each for those.
2 damage each, so that will kill that guy and put 1 down to 4 left.
And then...
Hang on, I need to work out who I'm going to put that on. I think we'll put that on the trumpeter, because we might need the... Do you know what I've just realised?
What?
I just realised I probably made too many attacks with these guys, because not all of them were in engagement range. One guy was too far away.
Ah well, we live and we learn.
Yeah. So anybody screaming that I'm cheating, yeah, I probably was. Right, but anyway, it's a learning curve.
2d3 mortal wounds.
2d3 mortal wounds.
Because of the impaling spear.
Indeed.
That is 6 mortal wounds.
Ouch. So that will kill that guy, and we'll put the banner bearer down to 4 wounds left.
And that is all from my Exalted Deathbringer.
Yeah. So you killed 2 and a 3rd Mournfang Riders. Right. So I'm selecting the Monfang Riders that are going to attack the Skull Reapers, and I'm going all out attack, and Joshua is going all out defense. And what have I got first? We'll do the Tusks first as usual. So that's 16 attacks, hitting on 3s. And there's some not 3s. That is a 3. So 3 misses. And then wounding on 3s.
Dad.
What?
Hitting on 4s.
All out attack, I get +1.
Yeah, excuse me.
So that's some more not 3s.
And that is
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. 9 at -1.
9 at -1. So that would Skull Reapers have an armor save of 4. -1 will take it to 5, but I've got all out defense, which takes it back down to 4.
Yep.
So 9 4-up saves. That's a lot of 6s.
It is a lot of 6s. That's loads and loads of 6s. So you
failed
failed 2.
Yeah, failed 2.
So that is 1 damage each.
1 damage each. So 1 is on 1 wound left.
Yeah, and then I've got my Culling Clubs and Prey Hackers. So that's 3 attacks each. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hitting on 2s. That's 2 misses. Wounding on 3s. 7 at no AP.
7 at no AP.
So 3 up saves, because you got +1.
3 up saves. That's cocked.
It is. So you failed 1.
Yep, 1 dead.
So that's 2 damage.
Oh, that's 1 dead and 1 on 2 wounds left then.
Yeah, that was not as effective as I wanted it to be. Now, Skull Reapers do stuff when they die, but we catch that shortly. Back over here, the Korgorath is going to have a go at the Gargant Hacker Mournfangs as well.
So, no all-out attacks. I spent it on the Exalted Deathbringer. So this is hitting on 3s.
Everything hit.
Everything hits. Nothing special happens on 6s, unfortunately, with these guys. This wounds on 3s. And that is 3 wounds at -1 rend.
Okay, and I've still got all that defense on. So, regular 4-up saves. Fail 1.
And that's 2 damage.
2 damage. Is that all his attacks?
That is all his attacks.
Okay, so we'll stay over here because it's my turn to pick a unit, and the only unit to pick is these Monfang Riders. So we'll start with their hoofs. And they are all in range this time. Sorry, the tusks. Although I need to pile in. Actually, do I split them? Yeah, I think I'll split them because actually this guy is not in range of him and he's not in range of him for his tusks. So this guy will go into that guy will go into that guy. So we'll do them one at a time. So the tusks from the Skalg, the sergeant, into the exalted champion. So 4 attacks hitting on 4s. Yeah, tusks. All 4 hit. Wounding on 3s. 3 wounds at -1.
3 wounds at -1.
Yep.
Now, finest hour. Their finest hour gives +1 to save rolls as well.
So it cancels out the -1. So regular saves.
So 3 up 4. So 4 up armor saves.
You
That
failed
is
2.
failed.
So that's 2 damage.
2 damage each or 2 damage total?
2 damage total.
Okay.
Because they're 1 damage each.
He is on 3 wounds left.
2 attacks from the Gargant Hacker into the same guy on 4s. 1 hit. Wounds on a 3. Doesn't wound. And then
alive.
4 attacks from this one into the Korgorath. So tusks. 1 hit. Doesn't wound. And then 2 attacks from the Prey Hacker. 1 hit. Doesn't wound. That was an eventful. So we've moved back over here to do the Skull Reapers, and Joshua's just noticed that because one of the models died, he gets to roll a d6, and on a 5 up I take d3 mortal wounds.
D3 mortal wounds.
Okay, roll a d6. That's a 4.
Anyway.
So, yeah.
But attacking with the vicious mutation of the Skull Reapers now, going through their actual attacks.
Yeah, so the champion gets extra attacks with a vicious mutation, his scorpion's tail.
Yeah, he gets 1 attack with this, and it's 3s to hit.
Now, Joshua forgot here that he should have got extra attacks courtesy of the Blood Secretor being within 16 inches, and I think it's turn 3 before we pick up on that.
And that is a 6, so that does hit. Wounding on a 4. And that is a 5.
So that's a wound.
-1 rend.
-1, so I get 5 up save, which I pass.
Okay, now making their actual attacks. This is 16 attacks, hitting on 3s.
16 attacks hitting on 3s.
Re-rolling failed hit rolls.
Now, Joshua did something that I'm guilty of, which is he didn't read the entire thing in the rulebook. The re-rolling failed hit rolls only applies if the target unit has got 5 or more models, and it's only got 4 models. But given the mistakes I made earlier with the Gargant Hacker Mournfangs, I think we'll let him off.
And that's a lot. 6s do special things, so I'm keeping those separate.
So you pick out anything that's lower than a 3 and you get to re-roll it.
Yep.
That's
all
nasty.
Those get to be re-rolled. And that is more 3s. So only 1 missed.
Yep. So what special things do the 6s do?
If the unmodified hit roll for an attack made with the unit's Gore Slick Blades, Demon Blades, Spine Cleavers, or Soul Tearers is a 6, that attack inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target in addition to any normal damage.
Okay.
So
that's an addition.
Yes,
so we do that afterwards. Yep.
Keep those to the side so we know that we have them for
Yep.
mortal wounds. Now, 3s to wound. That's a lot. That's all of them.
How many is that?
Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. At any AP? Any rend?
No rend.
No rend.
So 11 saves, no rend.
4 ups. 1, 2, 3, 4 fails.
And this is 1 damage each.
1 damage each, and there's, was it 2 mortal wounds in addition?
2 mortal wounds in addition.
So that will kill off 1 of the riders. So we'll take that guy. And I've already fought you.
Yeah, so there's nothing else we can do in combat.
No more attacks from these guys? They're all done?
They're all done.
Right, so I think there's going to be battle shock now. Hang on. So the Skull Reapers lost 1, but they never take battle shock tests. These Monfang Riders lost 1, but they can't fail because they're currently Bravery 7, well, ordinarily Bravery 6, plus 1 because they've got this banner, and plus 2 because they're eating. They're within 3 inches of an enemy unit. And the same over here, currently usually Bravery 6, plus 1 for that banner, but plus 2 because they are eating, because they're within 3 inches of an enemy unit, so no battle shock to take. So that's the end of Joshua's turn, so now it's my turn. So my movement phasing is done. It's basically just the Husguard has moved. In the hero phase, for the heroic action, the Husguard is going to use his finest hour, and so yeah, now we're on to shooting. I should also say that the Husguard is using his artifact, his relic, the Alvagur rune tokens. So until my next hero phase, I can re-roll hit rolls, wound rolls, and save rolls. So the shooting phase, harpoon was thrown and missed, and I can re-roll the attack and still missed. However, over here, the Skalg shot with his pistol, killed off a Skull Reaper, and yeah, rolled D3 damage. So that killed off the one that was on 2 wounds left and has put another one down to 2 wounds left. And yeah, because it was a ranged attack, not a melee attack, we don't do the whole 5 mortal wounds thing. And then over here, I kind of wish that this guy had done that, because that would have finished off that general. But no, the pistol shot missed, because you can shoot at units that you are in combat with. Right, charge phase. The Husguard is going to charge the Gore Reavers. So 4. Now
Blood Reavers.
I'm going to spend Blood Reavers. Yeah, Gore Reavers is a different game. That will get me in, but I'm thinking about re-rolling the charge anyway with a command point, because
you want the extra D6.
I want the extra trampling hoof attacks. That will give me. Did we get a command point at the command phase?
We did.
We did. Okay.
Because I had none and then I got one.
All right. So do I want the? I've got 2 command points. I'm thinking all out attack and all out defense. Nah, we'll stick with 4. So he's moved in, and this will be 4 ups instead of 6s because it's a monster. So 2 mortal wounds.
That killed off 2 of them.
Now, initially I forget about Monstrous Rampage, but I do catch it just in time, I think. So I'm going to start the combat over here, and I'm starting with the, well, obviously the Mournfangs. And I've spent a command point on all-out attack, and Joshua has spent one on all-out defense on his Exalted Deathbringer, because that's what I'm going to target first. So we'll start with the Tusks. These will hit on 3s, 4 attacks, and again splitting them, Skalg into the Exalted Deathbringer and this guy into the Korgorath, because again, distances and ranges and stuff. So Skalg's Tusks, and that's still 2 misses.
Wounding on 3s.
Wounding on 3s. 2 wounds at rend 1, rend -1.
So cancelled out by all out defense. So 2 4-up saves. That is 1 made.
1 failed, so 1 damage.
1 damage. Okay.
And then 2 attacks from the Gargant Hackers hitting on 3s. Both hit. Wounding on 3s. Both wound. Again, -1 rend, but cancelled out by all out defense.
So
you need to make both of these.
No! Can I command?
There's no command point reroll.
There's no command point rerolls. They don't even have any command points. So
that's flat 3 damage.
Dead.
I kill your general.
That's a shame.
And
so
then
command point for nothing.
The other Monfang Rider Tusks going into the Korgorath, hitting on 3s. And wounding on 3s, 2 wounds at -1 rend.
So 2 wounds, these need to be 5 ups.
Make 1 fail 1, so that's 1 damage.
So it takes them down to 7 wounds.
And then the Gargant Hacker, 2 hits, 2 wounds, -1 rend.
Both saved.
Both saved. So he takes 1 wound. So he's on 7 wounds left?
Yep.
Right. Right, so Joshua's going over here for the Skull Reapers, and I'm spending a command point for all that defense.
Now, before on the last turn I did reroll hit rolls. I shouldn't have done that because that unit of Mournfangs is not 5 feet bigger. So I should not have gone an extra reroll fail hit rolls.
Yeah,
so,
no, I've already explained that in an overdub.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
So the vicious mutation is going first, and it's hitting on a 3. That's a hit. Nothing special on a 6 for the vicious mutation. So wounding on a 4. That is a 4. Well, that's a 6. So that's -1 rend.
So 4 up save. Nope.
That's D3 damage.
D3.
That is 3 damage.
3.
I've been getting very good rolls with these D3s.
Yeah, one's down to half health.
Right, now the rest of the attacks from the Skull Reapers. This is 12 attacks in total, hitting on 3s.
And 6s do mortal wounds.
6s do indeed do mortal wounds.
So no rerolls this time, we've already picked up on that.
There are 2 mortal wounds though, so that's very good. And then wounding on 3s as well. So remember 2 mortal wounds. And that is 5 wounds, no AP, or no rend rather.
5 at no rend, so this will be 3 up saves because of all that defense. And I fail 1.
And then an extra 2 damage from...
Yeah, so 2 mortal wounds will kill off the Hornblower. So I'm going with the Who's card next, and we'll start with the, what are they called, the Rock Hard Horns. And on his current profile, he's taken no damage, so he gets 6 attacks with the Rock Hard Horns. And the Mount trait, I get +1 to hit for this, so I'm going to be hitting on 3s instead of 4s. And I can re-roll to hit because Finest Hour. I do get a little bit confused during this attack sequence. I get to re-roll to hit because of the relic, not because of Finest Hour. Oh, just realised. It's a monster. I can pick stuff to do at the end of the charge phase because it's a monster. And that won't have affected anything, so bear with me a second. Right, now again, purpose of this is to learn 3rd edition, and this is a new 3rd edition rule. At the end of the charge phase, so I should have done it in the charge phase, it's a monster, so I can do a Monstrous Rampage, and I'm going to go with Stomp, and I pick one enemy unit within 3 inches that's not a monster, so this will be the Blood Reavers, because Joshua doesn't have any monsters anyway, and on a 2-up, I do D3 mortal wounds. So that's 2-up, and D3 for 1, so 1 mortal wound. So it hasn't made a big difference so far. Now for the attacks. So 6 Rock Hard Horns hitting on 3s. And that's 4 hits. So I should have re-rolled those misses because of the relic or artifact. Wounding on 3s. That's only 2 wounds. Again, should have been re-rolling to wound because of my artifact. -2 rend.
They don't get saved then.
3 damage each.
So that's 6 dead.
6 dead.
Oh dear. There you go, that's 6.
And then we've got punches and kicks, which is 3 attacks, hitting on 2s. Re-rolling because Finest Hour.
No, you don't re-roll Finest Hour.
Do you not?
You just have 1.
Oh no, I'm re-rolling because of my relic.
Oh, yeah.
So I should have re-rolled hits and re-rolled wounds. But we'll ignore the wounds from the horns because I forgot. So it's 2 hits, wounding on 4s, re-rolling because of my relic. So 2 wounds.
And you get +1 because of Finest Hour.
Yeah. So no rend.
No rend, so I get to save these ones.
Yeah.
Make 1 fail 1.
So 1 damage. That's another one dead. And then the Crushing Hooves is D6 attacks for 3. Crushing Hooves hit on 3s, so now down to 2s. Is it? No. I'm re-rolling to hit because of Finest Hour.
No, re-roll to hit because you're relic.
Re-rolling to hit because of a relic. Yeah, it's +1 to wound, isn't it? So
+1 to wound because
+1 to wound because of Finest Hour. So we are wounding on 2s. Naturally, but +1. But yeah, you can't. A 1 is always a fail. So that's 2 wounds at -1 rend, so you don't get a save, and these are D3 damage each. So 4.
4.
Yeah. I'm happy for that to be a 2. If you want me to re-roll it, it can only get, well, it can get worse, but it's not likely to.
Yeah, we'll get rid of
More likely to get better. Alright.
Piling in for these guys.
So we're staying over here. Yep.
Yeah.
You want to keep them in coherency.
Yeah, I'm going to, don't worry.
Because they need to be within there's 6 of them, so they need to be within an inch of 2 models.
Huh. Well, in that case, kind of like that. It'll do. So
only the front rank can fight because they've only got 1 inch range.
They're still within range of that guy.
Yep.
The Blood Secretor, so they get an additional attack because within totem, then yeah. Additional attacks for all of them. There are 4 of them there, aren't they?
4 in range, yes.
So that's...
Your chieftain is not one of them.
Yep, 12 attacks for the Blood Reavers with their Reaver Blades. So hitting on 4s. That's that many misses.
Hang on, there's a 3 there.
Is there a 3? Ah, okay. I didn't roll any 1s, so...
So that's 8 hits.
Pretty sure I didn't roll any 1s.
8 hits, Khorne wants it.
Yeah, they did. Here he goes. Wounding on 4s. That cocked or?
Well, I'll leave it up to you. I'll say it's a 6 if you're happy for it to be a 6.
I'm fine with that. Don't get anything special from 6s. I was more thinking if it's cocked.
Yeah.
We declared that as a 6.
We did. So that's 5 wounds.
No rend.
5, no rend. Let's move them out of the way. So I get +1 to my save because of their finest hour. So I'm on 3 up saves, and I can re-roll to save because of my relic. That's 2 fails. Still 2 fails, so I take 2 wounds. So it's down to 10 wounds remaining. So back to me. I'm going for the Mournfangs. We're going to pile in. And starting with the Tusks, there's 2 of them, so that's 8 hitting on 4s. That's really rubbish. 1 hit. Wounds on a 3. And that doesn't wound. And then 6 attacks from the Prey Hackers and Culling Clubs. And that was hitting on 3s, so that's only 2 hits. The dice have turned. 1 wound.
No rend?
No rend, but
Okay.
2 damage.
So this is a 4 up armor save. Failed.
Yeah, so that will kill him. But
Oh,
on
is it
5
2
up,
damage?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Culling Clubs and Prey Hackers are 2 damage.
I'm going to do my 5 up
Yep.
thing. That's a 3, so
No mortal wounds for you.
no mortal wounds.
Back over here, the Korgorath attacking the Mournfangs. Yeah,
Okay.
move the corpses.
Move the corpses, yeah. So 5 attacks, hitting on 3s.
Everything
That
hit.
is everything. Wounding on 3s. That is 2 misses, or 2 fails.
3 wounds.
Yeah, -1 rend.
-1, so 5 to save. Fail all of them.
That's 2 damage a pop, so that's 6 damage in total.
So that will put the Skull down to 2 wounds left.
And because he's killed a model, he regains a hit point.
So he's back up to full health.
Back up to full health.
Oof. So Battle Shock phase. Again, the Skull Reapers would automatically pass. These Mournfangs only lost 1, and they're technically Bravery 9 at the minute, so they can't fail. The Blood Reavers, Joshua had a triumph, which was because my army was worth more points, and before the game he chose to take the triumph, which is Indomitable.
Yeah, Indomitable, which
So
means once per battle I can make a unit automatically pass a battle shock test.
Yeah, so that's now been and gone, but the Blood Reavers are staying put because they are Indomitable. And over here we worked out with all the various modifiers, yeah, the Gorgrath gives +1 to bravery rolls, but again the Skalg cannot fail technically. Right, so that is the end of the battle shock phase, so that'll be the end of the turn, so end of the battle round, so we need to roll off to see who's going first in the next battle round. Oh dear.
Hey,
So-
I'm going to go first.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Right, so more mistakes, but it is a learning game, and we just realised that we both get to do an heroic action in the hero phase, and we have been doing it. Joshua does a heroic action in his phase, I do one in mine, and that sort of thing. But no, you can both do one in the hero phase. So mistakes were made, but hey ho, it is a learning game. For Joshua's heroic action, this one, he has gained a command point, so the Bloodsecrator is a hero, but he's not the general, so he gets an extra command point on a 2-up instead of a 4-up, and sure enough, I think you rolled a 4 anyway, didn't you?
I rolled a 6.
Well, yeah, so you get an extra command point. I healed this guy, so you roll 2d6, and if it's equal to or if it's under his bravery, I heal d3 wounds. If it's equal to the bravery, I heal 1 wound, and I rolled a 4. He's bravery 8.
Yeah, if you roll higher than the bravery, you get nothing.
Yeah, and he healed d3 wounds, and I healed 3, but he only lost 2. And then both of us were like, oh, hang on, we can spend a command point for a rally and try and get models back to units. And Joshua tried to rally this unit, and I tried to rally this unit, and then we double checked the rules, and you can't do it if you're in 3 inches of an enemy model, an enemy unit. So actually you can't do rally, but hey ho. So that is the end of the hero phase?
That's the end of the hero phase.
Yes.
Movement.
Nothing moved, but 5 hellhounds, fleshhounds, what are they called? Fleshhounds.
Fleshhounds.
Have appeared. They're more than 9 inches away from my models. But that's the end of the movement phase.
The dogs of war have been released.
Indeed. So you got shooting. So the Gargant can shoot at this Mournfang Rider, but I think those guys have only got 8-inch range on the dogs.
8-inch range on the shooting, which is a shame.
So they'd be out of range.
Yeah.
So the Gargant shooting at the Mournfang Rider.
Yep. 3 attacks, 3 hit. That is 3 hits. Wounding on 4s. That is 1 wound, no rend.
1 wound, no rend, so 4-up save. That's a fail.
That is 1 damage.
1 damage, so he's got 1 wound left on the Monfang Rider. Charging with the Hell Dogs.
Fleshhounds.
Then.
That is 11 inches.
So you can get into contact with my Mournfang Riders.
Indeed I can.
Right, so Joshua has charged in with the Hellhounds, Fleshhounds,
Fleshhounds?
Devil
Yeah.
Dogs, whatever they are. And we've already done the piling because he's electing to fight with them first. And I think I want to go all-out defence on the on those Mournfang Riders. So I'll spend a command point.
I am going to go all-out attack. So they will be hitting on 2s.
So altogether this is 25 attacks because they get buffed by the Bloodsecrator hiding behind the rock.
Because the Bloodsecrator affects all Khorne units, not just Khorne mortal units.
Blood for the Blood God and all that.
So hitting on 2s because I use the all-out attack thing. So that is...
Yikes.
I count 4 misses.
Yeah, so 21 hits.
And then these wound on 4s. So I really wanted to get all those hits in so I could make sure I had enough wounds. Right, so... that is... that many wounds. And 9 wounds.
9. Any rend?
No rend.
Oh, that's good. So I get 3-up saves. How much damage?
1 damage each.
Would you say that's cocked or would you say that's a 1?
I will go with whatever you want to say.
I'd say that's cocked. Yeah. So I take 2 damage.
Oh, that for 2 damage?
Yeah, a bit of an anticlimax really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll put that on the banner bearer. Right, so my turn to pick a unit to fight with. Right, I am going for the Mournfang Rider, who is going to pile in. And I've spent a command point on all-out attack. Because, yeah, I've only got 1 wound left, and that Gargant is more than capable of stripping 1 wound off me. So I'm hoping to kill him before he gets the chance. So 4 attacks with the Tusks hitting on 3s. 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. 2 wounds. -1 rend.
5 power save. Fail both.
So that's 2 damage.
2 damage in total.
Yes.
Alright, that's 6 wounds left.
And then 2 attacks with the Gargant Hacker. Both hit. That would have hit even without all that attack. Wounding on 3s. Both wound. -1 rend.
5 armor saves. Make one fail.
3 damage. I needed both of those to fail. It's got 3 wounds
so
left.
glad he's alive.
Right, so Joshua's choosing to attack next with the Blood Reavers, and he's piling them in so they can all get into combat. He doesn't care about coherency at this stage, he just wants to maximise his attacks.
Yeah, they're gonna die by Big Beastie anyway, so might as well go out with a few points of damage. That's 1 dice dropped.
And my relic that allows me to reroll saves is still in effect. It's in effect until my next hero phase. So if I'd have got the double turn, I'd have got less use out of it, oddly enough.
So, Reaver Blade, I can reroll hit rolls of 1, which is very nice.
Were you doing that earlier?
I didn't roll any ones.
Oh, okay. Well, there's 2 ones.
There are 3 ones.
3 ones?
There are 3 ones. These are hitting on 4s, so there's that many that hit. Rerolling the 3 ones. That's 2 more hits.
Yeah, 2 converted. So how many in total?
That is 3, 6, 9, 11. 11 hits. Then I get to wound on 4s. And that is no, and no.
6.
Which is 6 wounds. No rend.
6 wounds and no rend. So I'm on 4 up saves now, because I don't have all out defence, and I don't have their finest hour. So that is 3 fails, but I can re-roll them because of my relic. For some reason my eyes saw 4, but my mouth said 3. Don't know why. And so 2 wounds go through. So it's back down to 10 wounds. So you took off the 2 wounds that healed up in the first place.
Yep.
So I'm going with these Mournfangs now, and I'm going to have to split them. I'm going to go... Well, I don't have to split them. I could put them all into the Devil Dogs Flesh Hounds, but those Skull Reapers I haven't fought yet. But because of the way that I'm tied up, I'm going to have to split them so that the Banner Bearer goes into the Skull Reapers, and the Skalg is going to go into the Flesh Hounds. So we'll start with the Banner Bearer into the Skull Reapers, going with the Tusks first, hitting on 4s, 2 hits, wounding on 3s, 2 wounds, -1.
So saving on 4s. Both save.
Well, -1.
Wait, 5s, and there was 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
still saves then.
yeah, and then 3 attacks from the Culling Clubs and Prey Hackers. 1 hit. Wounds on a 3. Doesn't wound.
Skull Reapers is alive.
Yep. So that wasn't very impressive. Now the Skalg into the Flesh Hounds. Tusks. 2 hits. 1 wound. -1.
6 up save. Only have 5 armor save, so -1 makes it 6, and that's a save!
Makes it. Dear me, that's really half turn. Right. 3 Prey Hacker Club things. 2 hits.
Ouch!
1 wound. -1.
And this is also on the Flesh Hounds, so
Yep.
6 up. That's a 5, so that's a fail.
So that's 2 damage.
2 damage, that's 1 dead. 2 wounds each.
That was definitely not as effective as I wanted it to be. Staying over here, Joshua is attacking with the Skull Reapers and he's just piled in.
Yep.
So starting things off with the Vicious Mutation.
Starting things off with Vicious Mutation, indeed!
And this time remembering that they are wholly within 16 inches of the Bloodsecrator, so they get extra attacks.
So yeah, 2 attacks with Vicious Mutation, hitting on 3s. That's both hits, just. Wounding on 4s. That's one wound. AP -1 or rend -1.
So that's 5 up saves.
Ah!
I meant to do all out defense. At this point, I'd completely forgotten I'd already used all out defense on this unit, and I was thinking I should probably keep all out defense for the other unit of Mournfangs so he doesn't get killed by the Korgorath, but I forgot. No, I'm saving that for the other guy. So no, I didn't mean to do all out defense, so we're okay.
Okay, 10 attacks, hitting on 3s. 6s do mortal wounds. That is A6, that's 1 mortal wound. And these are hitting on 3s. It's a lot of 1s.
So 5 wounds to get through.
5 wounds to get through.
Well, 5 wounds have, yeah,
5 hits.
5 hits.
Wounding on pause.
Rolling to wound is, so that's 3 wounds.
No rend, but there is 1 mortal wound going through.
4 up saves. Save 2, so they're 1 damage each?
1 damage each, so that's 1 damage and 1 mortal wound.
So 1 damage and 1 mortal wound, take me down to 2 on that guy.
Okay, and that's it for them.
So over here, and yeah, I forgot, in Age of Sigmar you're supposed to count up with wounds, because you count wounds suffered, not wounds remaining. Wounds remaining is 40k for things with brackets. But yeah, it suffered 2 wounds. So we're still on its top bracket. Right, so starting off with the rock hard horns. Let's correct that now, shall we? Let's do things right. So it's suffered 2 wounds. There we go. Whereas the other ones have got wounds remaining, so that's going to be confusing.
Yep.
Right. 6 attacks from the rock hard horns, and we hit. We're still re-rolling to hit and re-rolling to wound because of my relic, but we don't have all out attack at the minute. Or finest hour or anything like that. So hitting on 3s, yes, because my mount trait. And that's re-rolling. All right, so that is 5 hits, wounding on 3s, and re-rolling. So 5 wounds. Rend is -2, so you don't get a save, and these are 3 damage each, so that's the unit wiped out. Because that's a total of 15 wounds inflicted.
That's fair enough. I was expecting them to die.
So back over here, Korgrath is attacking, and I've spent a command point on all-out defense for this Mournfang Rider. Yep, so there's the mistake, using all-out defense twice, because I forgot I'd already used it. But ultimately, it only hurts me because I ended up spending a command point, and as you'll see, a little bit of a spoiler alert, but you're about to see it anyway, the Korgrath does kill the Mournfang Rider anyway, so effectively it just costs me a command point that it needn't have done.
Hitting on 3s with 5 attacks. That is 3 hits. Wounding on 3s with 3 attacks. Or 3 hits. That's 3 wounds, -1 rend.
3 wounds, -1, so cancelled out by all-out defense, so 4s.
1 fails and you're dead.
Indeed.
He's dead!
He's dead.
And I get an hit point back.
Indeed. Right, again, no battle shock to take because the flesh hounds would automatically pass and everything else is dead. So Joshua's back up to 2 blood tithe points. So that's the end of Joshua's turn 3. So going into my turn 3, Beastclaw Raiders turn 3. And I've only got 3 models left. Right, so the hero phase and the heroic actions. Again, Joshua managed to get a command point from the Bloodsecrator, and I managed to heal the Who's card. Right. I'm allowed to do that more than once, aren't I? That's not a once per game thing, it's only the finest hour.
It's only the finest hour that is once per battle per hero.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. Right, so movement phase, the Who's card has moved, and he's obviously threatening this side of the table now. He's well into the cornate half of the table. Shooting phase has been and gone. The Skalg shot a pistol at the blood Skull Reapers. Everything's skull and blood and stuff. Yeah, Skull Reapers, and didn't do anything because you can shoot at an enemy unit within 3 inches of you, and they are within 3 inches, along with the bloodhounds, flesh hounds, blood, flesh, skulls. Yeah,
skulls for the skull, bloods for the blood, skulls for the skull, and all that shit.
Yeah, exactly. The corn dogs. Corn dogs? No, you eat corn dogs. And then the Who's card lobbed a harpoon at the Bloodsecrator. I wasn't expecting to do anything, but took 2 wounds off him?
2 wounds.
Yeah, excellent. Right, charge phase. I'm going to charge with the Who's card 6 inches into the Bloodsecrator, and we get to do the trampling charge thing because he's an ogre monster. So 4s will do mortal wounds. That's 5 mortal wounds. I think your Bloodsecrator's dead. He's been trampled to death.
Yeah, 5 mortal wounds will kill him.
Blood tithe point though. Corn cares not.
From whence the blood flows. Where's the 3? There it is.
It's opposite the 4. Right, so fight phase, and we're going all out attack with my Mournfangs, and again I'm going to have to split the attacks. So we'll start with the Banner Bearer into the Skull Reapers, hitting on 3s with Tusks. That's good. That's 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. 2 wounds at -1 rend.
Skull Reapers, isn't it?
Yeah, Skull Reapers.
Okay, 5s. Make one fail one.
So 1 damage.
He's down to 2 wounds left.
And then 3 attacks from his Icicle Club. Everything hits.
Oh wow.
Everything wounds.
Any?
No rend. Oh yeah. Sorry. Oh, looking at the wrong one. No rend.
Okay, 4 palm saves. Fail. Make all of them.
You make all of them.
Sorry,
Okay.
almost said fail all of them, but no.
Well, no, you did say fail, but
I did say fail, but I meant succeed.
Right, Skalg going into the dogs. This is the Tusks, by the way. So 3 hits. 3 wounds, -1 rend.
6 saves. Make one fail 2.
So that's 1 damage each.
So that's 1 more dead.
Yep. Bad dogs. And then the Prey Hacker. 1 hit. 1 wound, no rend.
5 save. He's failed.
Failed, so that's 2 damage.
Okay, 1 more dead.
Right,
4
so
dogs.
I haven't got any other units to fight with because
I've got-
I trampled your Bloodsecrator to
I
death.
got 2 Blood Reapers and 2 dogs. Let's go with the dogs, shall we?
Yeah, go with the dogs.
Okay, so they don't get any more extra attacks, but they do get 4 attacks each though, which is very nice. So that's 8 attacks in total.
Corn wants it.
Yeah, he does want it indeed. Hitting on 3s. That's 1 miss. Wounding on 4s. Uh,
3 wounds?
4. No, yeah, 3 wounds. No rend.
No rend. Oh, I meant to go all out defence. So
I'll let you do that now.
So 3s. All save.
Right, all out attack on the Skull Reapers. So, starting with the Vicious Mutation, 1 attack, hitting on 2s. That's a hit.
Yeah.
Wounding on a 4. That is not a wound. 4 attacks each. Hitting on 2s. Wounding on 3s.
There were any 6s there?
There was 1 6.
Actually there were 2, but seeing as I took a wound off in the previous turn when I didn't have to because of all that defence, everything evens out in the end. Okay.
I'm pretty sure. So that's 1 more wound.
Yeah.
Wounding on 3s. That is
6.
6 wounds, no rend.
6, no rend. 3's to save. Failed 1.
So that is 1 dead.
Yeah. That's the Banner Bearer dead. And again, no battle shock to take because your dogs are leadership bravery 10, and I can't fail. I've lost 1, or can I fail? Ordinary bravery 6 plus 2 makes me bravery 8. I've lost 1, so no, I can't fail. So Khorne must be happy because there's not a lot of stuff left. There's a total of 7 models on the table, although that's probably going to change because Blood Tithe. But right here, right now, there are 2 Beastclaw Raiders and 5 Khorne models left on the table. Right, so rolling off for the next turn.
I need this.
Oh, really?
That's 3 1s in a row. And that's 3 5s in a row.
Right, we're at the end of Joshua's movement phase. In hero phase, he couldn't do anything because he hasn't got any heroes. I tried to gain another command point and failed as my heroic action. And then in the movement phase, the Skull Reapers have retreated out of combat with the Mournfang and obviously heading down for this objective. It's turn 4, so Joshua's got his eyes on the end game. And at the end of the movement phase, a Blood Master has been summoned in. He's within 12 inches of the altar and more than 9 inches away from my Huskard, and the Korgorath has backed up as well. So that's it for the movement phase. Shooting phase, I believe you're going to be out of range because you've only got 6-inch range on them.
The big flesh hound has a breath weapon.
The burning roar.
A burning roar indeed.
Do the roar.
Yep. So the Gorehound is what that one's called.
Indeed.
It has 1 attack and it's hitting on a 2. That's a hit. It's wounding on a 4.
I wasn't ready for this. I haven't got a dice.
That's a wound. No rend.
No rend. So 4 up. Like that.
Okay.
Right, so over here the Korgorath tried to charge the Huskarl and failed. So Joshua did have a command point because he's going first in this turn, and the Korgorath is within 12 inches of a hero now. So he spent the command point on forward to victory and rolled an even worse charge. So yeah, needless to say, the Korgorath has not made it into engagement range with the Huskarl. But the only combat is this one over here, and I've just spent a command point on all-out defense on the Mournfang Rider.
So, Flesh Hounds, 4 attacks each, so 8 in total, hitting on 3s. That is, I'll say that one's a 1. So that is 7 hits.
I'd have said it was cocked if you like.
Right, that's a hit then.
Everything hit.
Everything hits. Wounding on 4s. And
that's not so much.
2 wounds.
2 wounds.
That's a lot of 1s. 5 1s.
2 wounds. Any rend?
No rend.
So 3 up saves. Fail them both.
2 damage total.
That was a command point not very well spent. Right, so that Monfang Riders down to 4 wounds left. I get to fight you back. So we'll start with the Tusks. I can't use all out attack because they're already been issued a command. He's issued himself with a command already, although the Stonehorn could have done that as well. But hey ho. Yeah, 4 attacks hitting on 4s from the Tusks. 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. 1 wound. -1 rend.
6 up save. Make it.
That's the second 6 up save they've made. 3 attacks from... Ooh, dropping dice. From Culling Club, or whatever it is, Prey Hacker. 1 hit. Wounds on a 3. 1 wound, no rend.
5 up arm save. That's a 1.
That's a fail, and that's 2 damage.
That kills one of them then.
And then Battle Shock.
Bravery of 10.
Yeah, easily pass. So that'll be the end of your turn. Flying through it now, there's hardly any models left on the table. Right, so it's the end of my hero phase. I gained a command point for my general still being on the battlefield and not being slain. Tried to get another one with heroic leadership and failed. And Joshua got one from his Bloodmaster. So he's back up to 1 command point.
Back up to 1 command point.
And I've got 3. Now then, oddly enough, as I was putting together my cheat sheet for the new stuff for 3rd edition, as I was going through the Monstrous Rampages and I came across the one where you could destroy a terrain feature, I thought, that's never going to get used. Do you know what? I'm seriously thinking about doing it because I don't want him to summon in any more models, although he has got a character.
Yeah,
so that could summon in models as well. But yeah,
destroy the skulls or destroy the Bloodmaster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one to call, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. First of all, we've got movement phase and shooting phase. So at the end of the movement phase, this guy has stayed in combat and the Huskarl has moved, and I've finished my move within 3 inches of the terrain piece, because you can't charge it, and the Monstrous Rampage thing kicks in at the end of the charge phase. It doesn't say you have to have charged the terrain feature, it just says it happens at the end of the charge phase as long as there's a terrain feature within 3 inches of you. And I've moved over here in such a way I'm still obviously within 6 inches of the centre of that objective, so I'm contesting it, and essentially that then puts the onus on Joshua to try and get these guys onto the objective and kill off my general, which is possible I think, but not very likely I hope, because this guy counts as 10 models for the purposes of contesting objectives, whereas I think the Korgorath counts as 2 because it's got more than 5 wounds, and the Bloodmaster counts as 2 because it's got 5 wounds. So that's the theory. Now let's move on to the shooting phase. So we'll have this guy's pistol going into the Fleshhound, what's left of it, left of them, and we'll lob a harpoon probably at the Korgorath, see if we can take some more wounds off it. It's got 4 left. So the shooting phase, pistol missed, spent a command point for all out attack on the harpoon, and that missed as well. So charge phase, that's the end of the charge phase, and at the end of the charge phase we do a Monstrous Rampage. So for the Monstrous Rampage, this is the Smash to Rubble, and on a 3-up, that's only a 2 in 3 chances, 1 in 3 chances not going to work.
It's more likely that it will work though, Father, calm down.
Yeah, that terrain piece will be Smash to Rubble, and it won't be able to use its War Scroll abilities for the rest of the battle.
What am I doing? Ah!
That's a 5. So your Skull Altar is Smash to Rubble. So the fight phase, there's only one combat, it's this ongoing combat here, and we'll go all out attack. I've spent a command point, and we'll start with the Tusks. These are going to hit on 3s, and wound on 3s. 1 wound at -1 rend.
Now I went for all out defense for a command point, so I get +1 to this save, meaning it's a 5-up. That's a 1. How much damage?
1.
Okay, it's on 1 wound left.
And 3 attacks from the Prey Hacker. Hitting on 3s, that's only 1 hit. Oh no, it's hitting on 2s now. It's ordinarily hitting on 3s. Yeah, ordinarily hitting on 3s, so that's 2, so that's 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. 1 wound, no rend.
So this is a 4-up save, and I make that. So he's still alive and 1 wound.
Do they ordinarily have 5 up, do
They
they?
get 5-up or armor save regularly,
Oh,
so
okay.
+1 from all out defense.
Yeah, so fighting back.
Yeah, he gets 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. That's all of them. That's a lot of 6s.
It is, isn't it?
Too bad they don't get anything on 6s. Wounding on 4s. That's 3
wounds.
No rend.
4s. Make one fail 2, so I've got 2 wounds left.
Yep, that's 2 total damage.
Right. And no bravery to take again, battle shock to take again, so that's in turn 4. Now I could really do with finally getting a double turn for a change.
Yeah.
See if I can roll a 4th 1 in a row, shall we? Oh, that's 4.
That's a 6!
Ah, so I still don't get a double turn.
I want to go first.
So hero phase has been and gone. I tried to get an extra command point and failed. Joshua tried to get an extra command point and succeeded. And he pointed out, actually, this Blood Master is a hero, so he can have his finest hour used because he's a hero and he hasn't used it yet on that particular hero. But it says he's going to wait till my turn to use that. It's an interesting decision. But right, movement phase. Right, so movement phase, these Skull Reapers have run down onto this objective and they got a 6 for their run roll. The Korgorath used, what's it called? At the double?
I think
To
so.
automatically run 6 inches
Yep.
and get onto this objective in the centre. And the Bloodmaster has also done a run and he rolled a 2 for his run. So there's going to be no charging, but we have got shooting here and an ongoing combat from the whatever the champion equivalent is called in Fleshhounds. Gorehound?
Gorehound.
Right. So I've gone all out defence on the Mournfang Rider.
Okay, so I get 1 attack, hitting on 2s. That's a hit. Wounding on 4s. That's not a wound.
That's a waste of a command point. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but it's not as good as foresight. Right.
Ongoing combat.
There's no charging, so
No.
yeah, I'm going to spend another command point on all out defence again.
I'm going to I think I'm going to keep my command point. So 4 attacks hitting on 3s. That is 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. That's 2 wounds at no rend.
Ooh, I need at least 1 3-up. Yes!
1.
He's got 1 wound left. Right, so fighting back, I can't use all out attack, but we'll start with the Tusks. Hitting on 4s. 2 hits, wounding on 3s. 2 wounds, -1 rend.
6 saves.
Make 1
made,
fail 1.
Dead. So that's a blood tithe point.
It is, yeah. Right, so my hero phase, I got a command point with heroic leadership. Joshua has used heroic willpower.
No, finest hour.
Finest hour, that's it, finest hour on the Bloodmaster. And because those Monfang Riders, or that Monfang Rider, is no longer within 3 inches of an enemy unit, I tried to rally and I didn't get any models back. So we've got a Monfang Rider on 1 wound. Is this the last turn?
This is turn 5.
Yeah, this is turn 5. So it all comes down to holding objectives. So I'm holding that one. This one is currently contested, so I kind of need to kill you off that objective with a Monfang Rider. So I need to inflict 4 damage on that Gargant. Okay. It's crazy, isn't it? The entire game up until turns 4 and 5 has just been kill stuff, and now we're in the very last turn. It's how can I win? So at the moment, this Mournfang Rider is contesting this central objective, and effectively there's 2 models apiece on this objective, and yeah, this guy's holding this objective. But if I should be able to charge the Gargant and still be within 6 inches of that objective. So I can then be holding 2. That's the theory. Right, let's see if we can put it into practice. That's the end of the movement phase. We'll go into the shooting phase, and pistol shot and harpoon going into the Gargant. So the pistol fired from the Skalg, hit and caused 2 damage. And then I spent a command point on all-out attack on the harpoon, and that missed. So charge phase, I'm going to charge the Gargant with my Huskard. So first of all, what is the charge roll? 5. We'll stick with that, and then you take mortal wounds. I charge in, and I'll still be within 6 inches of that objective. So roll 5 dice now, because we are ogres and we're a monster. So on a 4-up, you'll take mortal wounds.
Dead.
That's a dead Gargant. That's 4 mortal wounds. So at the end of turn 5, the Skull Reapers are on this objective. The Mournfang Skalg is on the middle objective, and the Huskard is on the rear objective, and the Bloodmaster is not within 6 inches of the centre of it. So that is a minor victory for the Beastclaw Raiders. But yeah, that was quite brutal. There's only 5 models left on the table. 2 Beastclaw Raiders and 1 Demon and 2 Skull Reapers. Yeah, Khorne definitely got his fill on this particular occasion. But yeah, thoughts on 3rd edition in general. Yeah, Joshua and I were just talking. We never used any of our own command abilities. We only used the generic ones that you get in 3rd edition. The only time I could have used a command ability, this guy's got one, the Huskard has got one, which is if friendly Mournfang Riders are wholly within 18 inches, their Tusks get +2 damage when they charge instead of +1. And all the Mournfangs charged in turn 1, and they weren't wholly within 18 inches of him, so we couldn't use that one. And yours, for your Exalted Deathbringer, is basically the same as one of the core ones, isn't it? They just automatically pass morale tests.
Yeah.
Within 18 inches of him.
Yeah. Pick a command. You can use command ability at the start of the Battle Shock phase. If you do pick a friendly model with this command ability, until the end of that phase, you don't have to take Battle Shock tests for friendly core mortal units that are wholly within 18 inches.
Oh,
so
right.
Instead of it being 1 unit, it's just
an aura. Yeah. So it's so it's almost the same, but it's basically an aura, and it never really came up, did it?
Right.
Yeah. So interesting. I said to Joshua, "What do you think of 3rd edition?" And your response was,
"Weird."
It's weird. But it's only the first game we've played. I enjoyed it. I like it. I used to enjoy 2nd edition. I prefer, I think I've said to you several times, haven't I prefer Age of Sigmar to 40k. But obviously 40k gets played a lot more than Age of Sigmar. But yeah, this is our first game of 3rd edition, so thank you very much to Joshua for assisting me in learning how the rules play out. Yeah, and I look forward to playing a lot more. We just need to get your undead army done up, so we've got a bit more variety we can do.
Yep.
Joshua wants an undead army, but specifically legions of Nagash rather than flesh eater courts or vampires or...
Yeah, you wanted to do you've got flesh eater courts.
I've got flesh eater courts. I'm basically a destruction player at heart. Most of my armies are destruction, so I've got Iron Jaws, I've got Mournfang, Beastclaw Raiders. I've got a bunch of grots which are still in boxes and various stages of being built and painted, and I've got a smattering of bone splitters. But yeah, anyway, we digress. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your patience, and I hope you've learnt some stuff as we've gone along, and I've been editing the footage as we go, trying to pick up on the mistakes. But if you spot anything that we've got wrong, please do feel free to drop a note in the comments, ideally with page numbers in the rule book, so that we can just double check everything and see how stuff is worded. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Please continue to like,
comment,
and subscribe, and until next time, God bless.